Hi guys, it's me, Duff Rowden. Hey, do you believe that God would send someone from one side of the world all the way to the other just to tell somebody that He loves them? I think He would. I really do. I want to tell you a story about what happened to me in Germany this past summer with a team that I went with. Well, we were staying up near Hamburg, which is an extreme north of Germany. And so the team I was with, there was about a dozen of us. We were going to go on a sightseeing trip down from Hamburg down to a little town called Lübeck. Now, Lübeck is right on the border of where East Germany and West Germany used to be. And on the way there, I'm just talking with my buddies and talking about a train trip I'm planning for later on in the week. And I didn't know how far it was or if I could do it. And there was a German lady sitting near us, and she spoke up in very good English. She said, "Oh, that's an easy train ride." So we got to talking to her, and she asked us what we're doing there in Germany, and we said, "Well, we're just here to pray for people and to pray for a spiritual awakening in your beautiful nation, and to serve and do whatever we can." And we talked for, gosh, probably 40 minutes with the lady, and she became more and more comfortable with us. And it turns out she works in the parliament in northern Germany there. And of all things, she said, "You're going to Lubeck?" And we said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, that is where my mother lives. She's 80 years old. She lives all alone, and I don't get to see her very much. Would you guys go by and see her? I'll phone her and tell her just you're coming." And we're like, "Sure." you know. So we're gonna all 10 of us Americans are gonna go and say hi to this lady. So we got off the train. We got a little bouquet of flowers to take her. Our leader George got that, and we walked back through these narrow little streets in this old part of Lubeck, which all of Lubeck is old, but this is especially old. Little narrow streets, and it was kind of a cloudy day, and it was raining on and off. We found her place, and she was outside with some gardening shears, just working away. And she saw us, and she had short cropped gray hair, and she goes, "Well, my daughter told me you were coming." And of course, our leader George speaks German, and so she said, come on in the house." So all 10 of us go walking into her little apartment there, and it's kind of cold and sort of gray, but there's what's wonderful about it, there's just pictures everywhere, pictures of friends, people that she is related to and that she's not related to, and she's telling us all this. And so we're just enjoying being and talking to her, and she's very talkative and just seems so happy for the company, so very happy. She's 80 years old. She tells us that her husband left her 30 years ago, that she raised her 2 kids there in that apartment in the aftermath of World War II, where food and products were really scarce, and her story was really heartbreaking, but she was just a go-getter, and she was a believer. And then we invited her to go to lunch with us, so we walked for a long ways. We were trying to find this restaurant she thought she remembered, so we walked, and it rained on and off, and we finally got to this place. But during that time, all of us would spend time just walking next to her and talking to her, and she would talk to us in broken English, and I'd try some of my German, and we'd laugh, and I knew an old German song that she knew from when she was a kid. And we just had so much fun, and we finally wound up at this restaurant and had a little banquet room, and by this time there's about 16 of us. And we went up there, and you know what? It was amazing, because we knew that God, in His sovereignty, had set this up for our sightseeing tour. Our sightseeing tour that day was to pay attention to this little old lady who had really gone through a lot in her life. And we had this dinner, and you know what? It felt like a family reunion, where everybody was happy and everybody was laughing, and she was the center of all our attention for that entire day. Her name was Frau Rinke, Mrs. Rinke, and she was so sweet. And then we sang over her and we prayed over her, and she said at the end through tears, she said to George, our leader, she said, "I know I'm a child of God, but sometimes I can't feel it anymore, and it doesn't seem real. And I'm so thankful you came today and just told me that He loved me." And, that was so precious. Now, the next day, after we got back to our destination where we spent the night, we're going to go north to where her daughter lived. Her daughter's the one that gave us her address and everything. She's a lady about my age. And we went and saw her at her house. And kind of the same thing happened. But you know what she told us? She said, "My mom called me last night and told me all about the visit that all you guys had with her. And she said she could never remember feeling that happy in her entire life. Because you know what? She knew that somehow God in his sovereignty, this wacky wisdom, he sends 10 Americans to her house on the other side of the world to spend a day with her and just tell her that she's loved. You know, God is that kind of God. He'll love you. You know, all you got to do is cry out to him, and he'll be there. And he loves you. And there's so many stories in the Bible about God visiting the lonely. He is never far from you. And if you're lonely today, I want you to know something. He's looking at you. He's paying attention. Ask him for help. Ask for help. But he loves you guys. He loves you so much. And Benita and I love you too. So pray for us. Hey, right now, hit like. And if you can, share it too. Maybe somebody really needs to hear this today, okay? Maybe they need you to visit them through the internet. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you later.